To avoid this, here is what you must be asking on your first call. And, blank, besides yourself, who weighs in on the final decision on something like this? And if they tell you their boss or corporate and so on, then you must layer that with, and how much influence do you have in that? Layer, and what do they usually do when you bring them something like this? Layer, based on what you know about how they feel about something like this, what do you honestly think they would do? You must get as much clarity as you can up front so you know what to expect when you go into your demo or presentation. And of course, as you begin your close, you must also preface it with, before we get started here, just so we're on the same page, if you like what you see at the end of our presentation today, what are the next steps for putting us to work for you at your end? Or, more aggressively, at the end of our presentation today, if you like what you see, can you put us to work for you today? Again, you must have clarity over the process before you begin your presentation. Once you have that, however, if you still get the "I'll have to show this to my partner, boss, and so on," then use one of the proven scripts that follow to handle it. As always, adjust them, customize them, and make them your own. Then practice, drill, and rehearse them until you have these responses down pat. I need to talk to my boss, partner, corporate. I need to talk to, response 1. No problem. And are you going to recommend this to them? If yes, great. Then I'll hold on while you check with them. Or, great. And as you mentioned earlier, they do usually go with your recommendation, right? If yes, wonderful. Then I'll go ahead and get the paperwork started on my end. Can you reach out and see if they're available now to run this by them, please? Don't be fooled by the simplicity of this technique. About 20% of the time, the decision maker is sitting in the next room, and some people will go and get the approval right then and save you valuable time in delaying and following up. I need to talk to, response 2. I understand. Let me ask you 2 things. 1, what do you think the biggest reason is they will put us to work for you today? Listen for the buying motive. And 2, what do you think is the biggest reason they won't go with this solution? Listen for what the real objection is and then layer and explore. I need to talk to, response 3. Of course, and I understand. We talked before about your decision process. Let me ask you this, though. Is getting their approval the only thing holding us back from doing business together? Listen carefully. If yes, then, will you have time to talk to them before we speak at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon? Great. Then because you are on board with this, I will go ahead and prepare the paperwork. I'll email it to you, and I'll even reserve a spot for you. Give a brief pause here and wait for pushback. If none, I'll look forward to us moving forward tomorrow. I need to talk to, response 4. I understand, blank. Tell you what I'd be happy to do. I know you are behind this, right? Well, it's not fair to ask you to do my job, so if it's all right with you, I'll be happy to reach out to decision maker directly and answer any questions they might have. Would that be okay? If no, no problem. Just out of curiosity, do you think they will go with this? If no or don't know, what would it take for them to say yes? I need to talk to, response 5. Well, I know you are behind this, and I know you need it, as we discussed during our first phone call. I know you have tried to sell something in the past yourself, and you have probably been told that someone had to talk to somebody else before, right? Wait for a response. Well, based on your experience, what do you honestly think is going to happen here? I need to talk to, response 6. I understand, blank. I've been in sales a long time, and when someone tells me they have to speak with someone, it either means they really do, or it means they don't really have to, and it's just a way to get me off the phone. I don't think that's happening here, but if it is, can you level with me? If they really do have to speak with someone, then thanks for that. Now, based on what you know about this and based on the fact that you would like to see us work together, what do you seriously think is going to stand in the way of this getting approved? Or, thanks for that. Now, based on what you know about this and based on the fact that you would like to see us work together, what do you seriously think it is going to take to get this approved?